Impact management is critical for this day and age. If we are not taking the initial investment of time to identify what actions, programs, and services are critical to our team's enormous visionary and world-changing mission, then how are we certain it is achievable? Now, don't get me wrong, our missions likely are within our reach. However, how far along the spectrum of success are we? And is it possible we may be off course or exerting some energy in an off-path direction? Knowing and understanding your impact is imperative in this day and age, and with a diluted nonprofit sector, it's ultimately what sets your team apart from the others. You may need to communicate your impact to your board, your donors, your grant proposals, your new audiences, whomever it may be. They are interested in your work. It's a matter of effectively being able to understand and share these results. Now, how could we expect any different when teams are expected to do 10 roles at once, likely being pressed for certain results from their boards, and often don't have a chance to reflect on the long-term outcomes of current actions that we're taking? There is room to create a more intentional, streamlined approach to achieve mission success, and this is done through impact measurement. I've been on the team here at Community Boost for about 2 years now, and originally started out within our new business side, where I had the opportunity to speak with upwards of 600 nonprofits on what their biggest pain points and goals as an organization really are. I spoke with teams of all sizes, employees in all roles, and learned the scope of nonprofit business needs. In this process, I discovered a common theme among these organizations, and that was time is limited, their missions matter a whole lot to them, and yet they struggle to enroll more people into the organization. When I did a deeper discovery into why this was so common, I found most organizations were not only not able to communicate their impact, but also they were alone in trying to figure out the structures of how to make their impact truly matter. And so let's align on understanding of what this fancy term impact measurement even means. Impact measurement has become a growing trend with the increasing demand for nonprofits to be transparent and accountable to their supporter base. It can be the competitive advantage that sets nonprofits apart from others in the sector by clearly understanding the difference you're making in the world, and then being able to communicate that clearly to your funders and donors. So, impact measurement, it's this process in which your team reflects inwards to understand what the intended impact of the organization is and what steps and milestones are critical to getting the team there, and identifying how we are going to measure metrics and indicators along the way to signal when we really are on or off path. Then by virtue, we get to communicate this to our key stakeholders, what success and high impact failures happened along the way. Now knowing what intentional outcomes and actions our team might take in order to achieve our mission. This process is often expensive, lengthy, time-consuming, resource-demanding. Hence, we've invested months of my time strictly to study exactly how to break this. And this can be done in a streamlined fashion, and its design is intended to clarify what your organization's focus truly is. So why does impact measurement even matter, and what benefit do you get from it? The value and ultimately the 6 benefits of measuring impact are: first, you get to gather data and stories that you can then use in your marketing and communications. Second, by measuring impact, you're also able to report back to your funders and have accountability. Third, you have evidence of your nonprofit's effectiveness and can be significantly more intentional with your time. You can then share information with other nonprofits and collaborate on best practices and have a discussion of a nonprofit's organizational strengths. Fifth, you can attract new donors. Project funding is increasingly dependent on the strength of impact assessment and appeals to the transparency and millennial demand for data. And sixth and finally, you're able to get stories and feedback for your programs, activities, and services to allow for where your nonprofit can improve and use that for learning and growth opportunities. So how is this process done? It's done with 5 simple steps. First, identify what success looks like to you. Make a plan to achieve that success. We get you on the path to collecting information along the way to evaluate performance, provide you tools to communicate what you're learning, and then circle back to use lessons learned to continuously improve performance. In short, we can't improve what we aren't measuring, yet our team has consistently been frustrated by how long and costly it can be for nonprofits to effectively measure their social impact. That's why we are excited to take to market our Impact Measurement Liftoff program. One thing we've gotten really good at here at Community Boost is taking expensive services like digital marketing, web design, etc., and creating systems so we can offer quality service at a reduced cost for the social sector. Again, the impact measurement liftoff process is intended to be streamlined in essential questions that by the end of this process, your team will have a clearly defined impact measurement guiding principles of best practices and clearly understand what is critical to your team's success. Prior to working together, we will want to consider a few things. We will want to understand, what are your motives? Do you have any specific impact measurement goals for 2019? What is your current approach with impact measurement? You likely are doing a lot well. So we will want to understand what systems are currently in place and where are you starting from? As in, what rhythms do we have? What metrics are we using? What is or isn't working? What takes up most of your time and what could be more intentional? Ultimately, we are trying to discover, are we even measuring what is most mission critical, showing us if we are in fact on or off course to achieving your mission, or what I like to call mission success. In summary, this process will help you identify and consider the positive and negative effects one's organization has on the people and the planet, and then figuring out ways to mitigate the negative and maximize the positive in alignment with one's goals. Frankly, impact measurement is an iterative process by nature. It allows for teams to create a contingency plan for how to grow more effectively as an organization. Well, and frankly, you've made it this far in this video, so let's get started and get connected to see how we can conquer your organization's mission.